Hello to all of you out there in internet land. This is yours truly, your ascension coach, as well as your awakening coach, Samaya McCoy. I wanted to come on to commend those of you who are in the awakening, the beginning group. I wanted to commend you on a job well done for completing 15 days of your cleanse. So instead of posting, I wanted to come on just to basically encourage you and also to give you a nugget. And today's nugget is going to be about releasing fear as well, coming out of low vibrational circles. Oftentimes we stay connected to low vibrational circles because we think that that's the only way to go, or because of familiarity. But I'm here to let you know that you can disconnect from low vibrational circles so that you can make room for the fifth dimensional connects that you're going to be connecting with. You cannot straddle the fence. You can't have it both ways. And I tell people it's okay to be multidimensional. And what I mean by multidimensional is because we're here on this third dimensional, or living in the third dimensional construct. We're going to find ourselves dealing with third dimensional mindsets, third dimensional businesses. If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to find yourself dealing on a third dimensional standpoint. But it's up to you as a fifth dimensional being or a fifth dimensional woman to bring those vibrations up to your level. And that's a good place for me to drop this right here, that the fifth dimension or dimensions isn't locations. It's the development of the mindset. It's all about consciousness, the way that you're thinking. If you're thinking on a third dimensional standpoint, then you're a third dimensional being. If you're thinking higher or fifth dimensional, then you're a fifth dimensional being. So dimensions is all about levels of consciousness. So you can be multidimensional. You can go in and out, but as you're going into a third dimensional, to deal with a third dimensional mindset, you don't stay there. You don't stay there. You continue to go in, deal with that third dimensional mindset. And as you're dealing with that third dimensional mindset, your goal and aim is to bring that mindset up to where you are. And if you know that you can't do that, then you don't have to deal with that particular mindset. But I wanted to talk to you guys about coming out of those circles, because a lot of the circles that we're still connected with, they still have a third dimensional way of doing things, a third dimensional mindset. And what is happening is, because you're affiliated with those third dimensional connections, it's causing your vibration to be off. It's causing you to be clumsy. It's causing you to be disorganized. It's causing you not to present or manifest yourself as the fifth dimensional being that you need to manifest yourself as being here in this realm. If you can take a look at some of the third dimensional mindsets, you will see that they're still stuck in a box. And because they're stuck in a box, they want to keep you in a box. So therefore, sometimes we can become fearful of making a whole new different change. And you have to release these third dimensional connections, or you're going to continue to walk in fear. And this fear is basically fear what they're going to say, because now you're no longer doing what they say is the norm. But basically what they're viewing as the norm is basically got you boxed in, and they're boxed in and they can't see it. So now the Bible tells us to seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. So now you're on a journey of seeking. And as you're seeking, you don't need anybody trying to box you into what they think that God is, or God does, or what God says, or how God. You don't need any of that. You need to have the freedom and the capacity to expand your way of thinking, your consciousness, so that you will be able to get all what you need to totally awaken. And as you're totally awakening, you don't need any connections to try to come back in after you've been promoted from that little small thing where you were. Then they come back in and try to, oh no, that's the devil, that's not God, you shouldn't say that because now you're sounding this way and you sounded that. No, they're still boxed in. So now, because you're being promoted, because you're doing the work, you're going inside, you're seeking for yourself, and you're trying to know for yourself, and as you're knowing, you would know if you're crossing into an area that you shouldn't be in. You would know that your spirit would say, no, this is not for you. And this is what you need, but you don't need someone of a third dimensional consciousness to try to box you back into that third dimensional mindset. This journey is for you. All of you who are in the awakening group, I want to applaud you for saying, hey, I'm awakened and I want to move forth on my journey. And I want to go higher. But here's the thing, what I'm finding out, the very same people who are saying, hey, I want to change, they're so scared of what other people are going to say. They're fearful because they don't want to be deemed this and they don't want to be called this. It's not about that. You have to go and set your own self free, because there's nobody else that's going to do it for you. You have to do the work yourself so that you can have the freedom. The Bible tells us that we're born again. We must be born again. And in order to be born again is to wake up with a whole new different level of consciousness. That's what being born again means, to get rid of that old way of thinking. Come out of that subconscious mind and tap into that conscious mind. And that's being born again. And do you not know that you have two hemispheres, the left and the right side of your brain? And the right side of your brain is the level of consciousness, and you got your left side, which is your subconscious. The subconscious is that 90% that we're always operating from, wherein the 10% is the real deal, that place that breaks a whole bunch of habits, that place that breaks a whole bunch of this familiarity as well as traditionalism off of our lives. That's the 10%. That's the tithe that we need to tap into. Okay? But nevertheless, I wanted to come on to encourage you personally, to let you know, rid yourself of all these low vibrations. It's time for you to awaken. It's time for you to ascend. It's time for you to tap into our one true living source, the all in all, the infinite power. And if you tap into that infinite power, that place within you, there's nothing that you will not be able to obtain. There's nothing that you will not be able to do, but you have to tap into it for yourself. Don't allow people to box you in. Rid yourself of fear this day. See yourself being what you want to be. See yourself doing what you want to do, and don't allow people to box you in, because they don't understand. Their bubble of understanding is this round. Wherein when you answer the call to awaken, you said, that means I'm going to come out of this bubble of thinking and I'm getting ready to expand my level of consciousness. I'm going to tap into things that I never tapped into, so that I can see if it's for me or if it's not for me. Because here's this, and I'm going to close with this. The Bible tells us that He has written the laws on our inner parts. And we cannot confine everything that we're searching for into just the Bible. Because everybody, where's the scripture that backs it? Where's the scripture? Where's the scripture? Okay, I'm a Bible thumper and all of that. I love the scriptures. I stand with the scriptures, because the scriptures are they're what is needed for this time. But there's something in you. There's a book in you that need to manifest. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they all done what they're supposed to do in their time. Now we're in a whole new different dispensation where people call it the new age. And this nothing new. It's not a new age. It's just a whole new different paradigm shift. And because back then, they probably didn't use the terms that we use today. I'm quite sure that they didn't. They spoke totally different, okay, from what we're speaking. But we understood where they were coming from. So the whole thing, the whole cycle is continuing and it's repeating. We are always about cycles. The universe is all about cycles. So now we're on a whole new different paradigm, where now it's time for us to birth out what we need to birth out for a generation to come. And we can't be the Matthew, the Mark, the Luke, and John's trying to repeat what they've already done. So it's time for us to manifest that book outside of us and know that, hey, In order for me to do this, I have to seek ye first the kingdom. And seeking ye the first the kingdom has nothing to do with being amongst who's who. It's all about you coming out from amongst them, being ye separated, so that you can totally walk into your sovereigntyship. And walking into your sovereigntyship is all about being free from being boxed into different concepts of what we think God is or how we view God. It's coming out of all of that so that you can be free to witness and be able to experience the infinite power. Until next time, this is yours truly, your Ascension Coach, Savannah McCoy. Love each one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of this great shift. Peace, light, and love to you. Till next time.